We move from real concern in Inanda that the shooting of those three women could be politically linked to political concerns in another province. The family of an ANC supporter shot dead during protests in Lichtenburg last week wants answers. Morani Mofokeng was killed allegedly by police at a protest that erupted over what the community is calling the rigging of ANC candidate lists. Police watchdog IPID says the firearms used to kill Mofokeng have been confiscated. eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti Jones is following the story and he joins us now. Pule, you've got more information about this man who was killed last week. What do you know about what is believed to have happened and what led to him being killed?
So, Sally, what we know right now, and as you've just confirmed, is that the firearms that were used to disperse the crowds, live ammunition confirmed by IPID, have been confiscated for ballistic analysis. While the matter is under investigation, we can now confirm that this ANC supporter, Morani Mofokeng, was part of those who were actually protesting to anger out their grievances against the alleged rigging of councillor candidate lists, like you've just mentioned there. That has been confirmed. IPID says that this is a matter they're looking into, and they haven't confirmed when arrests will be imminent, but they're saying they've also tried to ensure that they call into the correct steps of ensuring there's accountability and that those behind the killing are brought to book. And this has all been confirmed by the authorities just about 2 hours from the crossing we're doing with you just now.
So am I right in trying to piece together that this doesn't look like it was a targeted assassination as such, but this looks possibly like it was the police trying to break up a protest and this man, Morani Mofokeng, was perhaps hit by a stray bullet?
See, what we are getting from the family members, community members, they're saying it was a targeted hit, and that this is one ANC supporter who's always been vocal in the area. But you see, the authorities are quite, careful, especially in their statements, saying that he was hit during the activities when the police were trying to actually disperse the crowd. The bullet hit him by the chest, and he died on his way to the hospital. And that's a statement by IPID. They don't mention or concede the fact that this was a target. But the message that's coming from the community is very different. But while that's the case, IPID has reaffirmed that there will be accountability, saying that no stone will be left unturned on this matter.
You've spoken to the family of Morani Mofokeng. Exactly what have they said to you?
Yes, the family has been quite, they're distraughted about this matter, and they're very unhappy about what had happened. They just want more information. They want police to actually lead them through into confidence and actually make sure that those who are behind this were held accountable. We spoke to the sister earlier on. This is what she had to say.
My family is supportive, and this thing is but things like that means for current Bamukoil and Kibotok because Kimalumabanavak. On our Tokamala Palin Abahajiwa Arnali Tago everything. This young head had a Konokoroba with you. Even Mr. Koronasaka has Konokoroba, Halas Papa Malasam Pasor, Utata Hokai. They think he did too much. I don't think Kahola.
Oh, it's just so incredibly sad. She raises a very important point. If he was killed by live ammunition, what were police, if it was police who delivered the fatal shot, doing using live ammunition during a protest? I want to speak to you about what the ANC is saying at the moment, and particularly what is the latest that you've been able to establish about the mess around the candidate list in this area, because yesterday you were telling us that the most popular candidate, who everyone was saying he's the person, is not on the list, and it seems to be quite a mess.
Sally, I want us to highlight that word, a mess. The process has been a mess. We've spoken to the ANC yesterday, and all they did was to say they called for calm in the area and condemned the situation. But there was a statement released by the ANC today which was titled, setting the record straight. And just going to read a paragraph quickly where they say, the ANC is satisfied that all its processes are firmly on track and proceeding according to schedule to meet timelines as set out by the Independent Electoral Commission. It comes across as though, sadly, all the parties concerned about is meeting the deadlines. But there's a bit of a jump in the processes that have been, and the guidelines that have been put in place, which is causing what we are seeing right now. We spoke to my colleague Mawande earlier on, who spoke about the incidents that happened in Inanda. We are seeing it here in Bladeville in Lichtenburg, where we're seeing that we found documents that show that the correct community, a councillor was elected by the community and did receive votes. But then again, there's different types of names on the list, and there's one person who signed, the very same person hands over the list to the PLC. So it just goes to show how there's been lack of transparency, but most importantly, the guidelines and of course the processes have been flawed, causing chaos in these areas. Sally, just before you go, I want to tell you something that while not only in Bredeville, we've received actually even more messages around other neighboring communities of the similar incidences happening. And this is quite a great concern the party should be actually looking for fastly.
I mean, we're less than 7 weeks before the municipal elections, and we've seen protests in the area that you've been for quite a few days now. What is the current situation? Is it still tense? Are there still people planning protests?
I think the killing of Muirena Mofokeng has actually brought, quite deep sorrow in this community. While they're paying their respects and, of course, saying their last goodbyes, they've actually now pinned their hopes on trying to ensure that, the provincial leadership in the area comes with the correct answers to give them clarity as to whether the names were changed and as to whether the candidate they fielded will now be leading. But I tell you what, the ANC has also again set the record straight, saying, deadline has been finalized. They're looking forward to now sending the names to IEC, and then they're gearing up for the elections. So there is so much of uncertainty in this area, and these community members have not received any information whatsoever. But what they're also saying is that after the funeral, they will have to go back to the drawing board and decide whether they go back to the streets from Monday or not.
Thank you so much for that update from the Northwest Province. That's our reporter, Pule Letshwiti Jones. Now